What if Pokemon were able to use every single move of their type? Ursaluna, for example, could use any normal or ground type move in the entire game. That means it could steal Population Bomb from Mousehold, or it could run Precipice Blades, or why not Spikes, for ground type options. There is a competitive Pokemon format where this is the exact premise. It is called STABmons, and in this format, Pokemon are allowed to use any move that corresponds with their typing. Landorus can use the move Beak Blast if it wants to, and it's actually a very powerful option. Beak Blast is the signature move of the Pokemon 2 canon. One of the best move names in the franchise for certain, and actually a very good attack. It has an effect similar to Focus Punch, where you sort of have to charge it up before using it, and it has negative priority. And if they attack you while you're doing this beak charge effect, they will get burned if they make physical contact. Plus it has 100 power and 100 accuracy. Pretty amazing move, combining a burning effect and really solid flying stab. The only disadvantage is the negative priority on it, but a bulky Pokemon like Landorus coming in to take hits, Beak Blast is a perfect fit on this. And because of the vast options available in STABmons, these signature moves on specific Pokemon that usually aren't seen very often are brought to the forefront of the metagame and are now defining the metagame, in fact. And just to be clear, Pokemon still maintain their original learn sets, so Landorus can learn, U-turn and Stealth Rock and all the moves it usually gets, but it also gets every ground type and every flying type move in the whole game, including Shore Up for a form of healing, or Roost if you want, I suppose. If you want to lose your flying typing, that might save you from an ice type attack. Listen, it doesn't matter what format you're playing, Landorus is always going to rise to the top, and this is probably the best Pokemon in STABmons, enhanced even further by access to all of these options. But some Pokemon are absolutely loving this new format, where they can take advantage of all the fantastic options offered by their dual typings. One example of a Pokemon significantly buffed in STABmons is Gyarados. Gyarados in Gen 9 OU is far from what it once was, all the way down in the NUBL tier, but with access to every water type move and every flying type move in the game, Gyarados turns into an absolute monster. Surging Strikes is an amazing choice for Water Stab. This is the signature move of Urshifu Rapid Strike, and now any water type in the world can use it. This is an even better option than the usual Water Stab Gyarados has access to, with much higher power and the ability to power through defensive boosts, which is pretty incredible. I also never knew this, but Surging Strikes counts as a punch-based move, so Punching Glove will buff it, and Punching Glove will prevent contact, so, Static, Flame Body, Rocky Helmet, and Rough Skin won't affect this multi-hit move if you're running a Punching Glove. And with a Punching Glove, the power gets increased too. You also have access to Dragon Ascent. Gyarados doesn't really have great flying stab in its base moveset, it just has Bounce, which is an average charge effect. But Dragon Ascent, a move abused by Rayquaza, is a beautiful fit on any flying type, and especially Gyarados. Much like Rayquaza does, you can use it alongside Dragon Dance for sweeping potential. Another option Gyarados has access to is Jet Punch, the signature move of Palafin. This is an above average water type priority move with 60 power, very strong for a priority move. And it conveniently gets boosted by the Punching Glove too, if you want to get double synergy with the Punching Glove there. Meloetta is a Pokemon that also thrives in the STABmons world. This is a pretty high-ranked Pokemon and a staple of the format actually, despite being ranked NU in the base game. Even though Normal and Psychic are not very good types in modern times, in STABmons these are great types because you have access to the Normal and Psychic Movepools. And these two types have some of the best attacking and support moves in all of Pokemon. If you watched my video about the best moves in the game, my 2 videos on that topic, you might be aware of this. Normal and Psychic type moves are actually amazing, even if the types themselves are average. So Meloetta has access to Boom Burst, a very straightforward high power special attack, very good move, and Meloetta is no slouch in the stats department with very high special attack and special defense. You also get Take Heart, which is a new boosting move, basically a better version of Calm Mind. It raises special attack and special defense by 1 and also cures your status. So this basically makes you immune to status while boosting up. One of the #1 ways to deal with boost sweepers is to paralyze them or poison them and wear them down. Not if you have a Take Heart. Recover is of course just a straightforward healing option, and Esper Wing is an incredible psychic type move that is exclusive to Hisuian Braviary. This is an 80 power psychic type special attack that boosts drops your speed on hit, similar to Aqua Step, the move of Quaquaval, but this one is a psychic special attack. So you have not only massive power from Boom Burst, speed ramping, this beautiful boosting option in Take Heart that also happens to cure your status, and then you can heal. With Grassy Seed and Rillaboom on your side, you can also get a defense boost, and Meloetta absolutely goes to the moon. STABmons is the perfect environment for this Pokemon to thrive. If you're a Meloetta fan, maybe you should play STABmons, because this Pokemon is excellent here. STABmons is really interesting in the sense that it makes otherwise bad types way better because of this feature where you get all of the moves. Iron Boulder is a pretty bad Pokemon in Gen 9 OU. It's ranked UUBL, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it struggles to find places on teams just because of its unfortunate rock psychic typing mostly and limited move pool. But in STABmons, rock and psychic are really good types to have because you get the whole catalog of rock and psychic moves. Iron Boulder can use Photon Geyser for big psychic stab that also ignores abilities and turns physical because you have a higher attack stat, so this move adapts to whatever your highest stat is. Diamond Storm, usually exclusive to Diancie, now anything can use it. 100 power and a chance to raise your defense by 2, pretty incredible stuff. And you have Accelerock, the rock type physical attack, with priority on it. I think the only thing that gets this is Lycanroc and maybe some other random thing that's not very good, but now any rock typing can get it, and it's actually a really good reason to be a rock type. Priority on a rock move is excellent, because rock is such a good offensive type. You hit so many things. This also makes Tyranitar much better. Tyranitar is not a popular Pokemon in Gen 9 OU. It's fallen down for the first time in its entire career to UU. But in this format, you got like Salt Cure on this, the all-new signature move of Garganical. Bulky rock types really appreciate this option. Fantastic on Garganical and fantastic on Tyranitar too. Something I've neglected to mention until now is that Pokemon can also learn moves from types of their previous evolution. So because Pupitar is a ground type, Tyranitar can also learn all the ground type moves, and Shore Up is an amazing one. Shore Up is a ground type healing move that heals 2/3 of your HP in Sandstorm, and Tyranitar sets Sandstorm on the field. The fact that you have Salt Cure enhances your abilities as a bulky rock type. Unfortunately, you cannot learn Ceaseless Edge. They banned this recently because it was too powerful. Honestly, fair enough. Some moves are banned in this because they're too good. Ceaseless Edge is one of them. But you can learn Stone Axe. This move is not as broken. Stone Axe is just a rock type attack that sets Stealth Rock on the field. Pretty fantastic move that now every rock type can learn. And Tyranitar can get Parting Shot too, if it wants a pivoting option. All dark types have this now, Parting Shot. You can see how this would really enhance how good Tyranitar is, and Sandstream is useful as well, because more Pokemon can learn Shore Up, and you could buff Shore Up in the sand for your allies, like Landorus Therian heals 2/3 of its health now. What a concept. In a similar vein, a Pokemon like Incineroar, who is not known for its singles success, more of a doubles Pokemon. In Gen 9, it's ranked all the way down in NU, not very successful, but with access to the Fire-type catalog, it's a bit better. Incineroar actually already has Parting Shot and Knockoff in its natural moveset, but now it can use Sacred Fire for a massive power Fire-type attack that burns the enemy. Pretty outstanding. And Burning Bulwark is also a really good move that you can steal from Gouging Fire. This move is able to protect you from incoming damage, similar to the move Protect, but if they make contact with you, they get burnt. It actually works on Headlong Rush, crucially, because Headlong Rush makes contact. Same with Close Combat, so kind of good against Great Tusk, actually, to be able to just burn them if they dare to touch you. Now, unfortunately, something that does suck about STABmons, and this is the second time I've talked about a fan format where Toxapex becomes really good again. Yeah, Toxapex is really good again. Poison and Water is actually maybe the best dual-type combo you can get as a defensive support Pokemon. The Water and Poison catalog is unbelievably good. And Toxapex was already, you know, a solid baseline of a Pokemon, but getting access to all these new support moves makes it on the level of Landorus Therian. It's them two at the top. It's those two Pokemon. Poison types can all get hazard removal now because of Mortal Spin. This is a new move in Gen 9 available to Glimmora, poison type move that removes hazards. Toxapex can remove hazards. That's pretty incredible. It also gets Scald back because, of course, Scald is a water type attack and all water types get it back. And it can pivot now with Flip Turn. So that's fun. It also gets Clear Smog to get rid of stat stage changes, and because none of these moves are actually status moves, it can even run an Assault Vest and still have all the utility it needs to function. So Toxapex is unbelievably powerful in this format. I suppose it's kept in check a little bit by the fact that psychic types are buffed and they threaten it more, but Toxapex is definitely insane in this. Another Pokemon who's having a wonderful time in STABmons, this is a perfect format for this Pokemon, is Sylveon. Sylveon, of course, gets not only every fairy type move in the game, but every normal type move in the game thanks to its pre-evolved form of Eevee. Thank you, Eevee, for all the normal type moves. And Sylveon has the ability Pixelate, which converts all normal type moves into fairy type moves and boosts their power. So that's absolutely outstanding, isn't it? You get fairy type Boom Burst with this. This is even better than Sylveon's usual stab move of Hyper Voice. Fairy type Boom Burst is insane. You also get fairy type Rapid Spin, not only for a speed boost, but for hazard removal. And you get the whole normal type catalog, of course, so you can use Transform if you want. Bit of anti-boost sweeper technology. Court Change for another form of hazard control. Recover if you just want to heal. Sylveon is really good in STABmons for this reason. And another Pokemon that is way better in STABmons than it usually is Hydrapple. With access to all of the Dragon and Grass type moves in the game, it can use Clanging Scales, usually exclusive to Como-O, and this is probably the best Dragon type special attack in the game. Really high power and a low cost of just 1 defense drop. Pretty outstanding move. You can also use Seed Flare, signature option on Shaymin, and a very powerful breaking move with high power and the 40% chance to lower special defense by 2. That's a high proc chance on that. And you can use Matcha Gotcha, the signature move of Sinistchar, which combines everything in one. It's got a health draining effect and a 20% burn chance on an 80 power special attack. Pretty fantastic move that can spread status and heal you back up. Choice Specs Hydrapple is really amazing here with all these incredible breaking moves and the fact that it can just regen, and it's kind of bulky for a Specs Pokemon. Why don't we take a look at a high level STABmons game? This is from OMPL, the Other Metagames Premier League, and look who it is, Super Epiganthoros, showing up where you least expect it. Of Gen 3 OU fame, of course. Let's take a look at this one. What have you cooked up here, Super Epiganthoros? Kyurem and Great Tusk are both frightening sights with the knowledge that they can get any move of their type in the game. Is this a Rapid Spin Sylveon? Indeed it is, because Sylveon's normal type moveset is being converted to fairy type, thus allowing it to learn any normal type of move in the game, including Slack Off, of course, for healing. It's actually an outstanding Pokemon with all the normal type options. What an incredible Pokemon here. We're going Ting Lu and Behemoth Blade coming out from King Gambit. That's a frightening sight. That's even better than Iron Head. But Ting Lu can heal with Shore Up. I'm not sure which is scarier. Behemoth Bash comes down again, and oh, forcing that out with the threat of a fighting type attack, and in comes Kyurem on the switch out. That's a classic Super Epicanthoros type play. Behemoth Bash will break the sub here. And Ting Lu. I wonder what this Ting Lu is running. It can run any ground type move, any dark type move at once. It's got Precipice Blades for more damage against this King Gambit than anticipated, and that does in fact KO it from here. Lilligant Hisui has all grass and fighting type moves in the game, and it has used Flower Trick for an impressive 49% against Goldengo, and it's Astral Barrage to KO a Great Tusk. I'm not sure what's going on anymore. This Pelipper got Steam Eruption, possibly. Wow, it lives the Astral Barrage. It's got a Weather Ball. Nothing crazy from Pelipper. I would imagine Steam Eruption is a good choice on Pelipper, though. Glacial Lance comes down from Kyurem. That's the move exclusive to Calyrex Horse Rider, but not this time. Drain Punch coming down from Lilligant Hisui. Can it learn that by itself? I'm not sure. Amazing question. And I would expect this Rillaboom to also have Flower Trick, and Fluor Cannon from Iron Valiant is insane. That's true as hell. A high power option, Grassy Glide, nothing unique there, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Grassy Glide, Rillaboom. There's probably a Grassy Seed Pokemon on the team then, I would think. C has earned a substitute opportunity, and Glacial Lance is looking scrumptious. Kyurem must be amazing in this with actual good attacking options. It's already very good, but now it's even better with the ideal options to its name. Floor Cannon does land that time and makes quick work of Hisui and Lilligant and his Thunderous Therian. This could Big Blast. Oh, Final Gambit comes down. It's like an explosion on Iron Valiant. That's insane. Get a nasty plot. And Aeroblast, almost, that was so close to winning, but Sylveon lives on a sliver of HP. I didn't even think of Aeroblast, of course, signature to Lugia, but any flying type special attacker is going to love that. Wow. That was a pretty close battle and a really good showcase of all the unique options you can use in this format. Beautiful stuff there. STABmons is a format where the world is your oyster. With so many options available to you in team building, creativity shines through at every turn. And I love the way that this format flips flips the type chart on its head completely. Types like Rock and Psychic, Bug, Normal, and Ice are terrible in modern times with so many defensive shortcomings. But in this format, they're amazing. And being these types has significant upside to it, with all the new options you have access to as a result. And the way that certain Pokemon thrive, specifically in this format, where they wouldn't anywhere else, is beautiful in my opinion. I love it. And I love how this format shakes up the usage of Pokemon you're familiar with already, and redefines type identity, associating them with their most powerful moves and their most powerful options. You're also seeing signature moves that rarely see play, like Big Blast, become cornerstones of the format and central concepts. And I think that the way STABmons highlights these things and flips everything on its head is a very unique way to play Pokemon. I'm glad that this exists. I'm glad that there's a little community that finds STABmons to be compelling, and it keeps pushing it and figuring out what the best strategies are. If this is interesting to you, you can just play this format on Pokemon Showdown for free. Go ahead and open the team builder, load up a Pokemon, and take a look at the vast options at your disposal with that Pokemon now. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, folks.